Welcome back to 7 Tips for Better Research on Google with me, Rob Zarka. And we're talking about ways to improve your general Google search results, especially when you are doing research. We're up to tip number 5, and that is going to be the site operator. So suppose I'm looking to find out what people are saying about Gary S. Becker on Twitter. Gary S. Becker, of course, a Nobel Prize-winning economist. And as you can see, I do get a little bit of twitter.com results here, but not doing a great job zeroing in. Sometimes Google does a great job, even with just a short phrase like wiki. It usually will give you Wikipedia, but in this case, not so much. And the problem, of course, is not the name here, right? I could make it a more specific search for the name, and well, you get a little bit better, but not really in terms of the results. What can I do? The site operator, S-I-T-E, and then a colon, before a domain name, in this case I'm going to use twitter.com, of course, is going to limit results to a specific site or path within that site on the internet. And here I have lots of tweets about Gary S. Becker, so there you go. In fact, you might think to search on Twitter itself, but Twitter doesn't do as good a job of surfacing the older tweets as it does the newer ones. So if you want to look back in time a little bit, as you can see, we're getting 2012 here. We probably get some older ones if we look back even farther or use the search tools to restrict the date. We're going to do a little better with Google for the older stuff. So that's one way to do it. I want to point out, however, that you don't have to limit yourself to what we call a second-level domain. Let me give you a different example. Suppose I'm researching France's economic history. Oh, I got some good results here. I've got Wikipedia, I've got Britannica, a couple of places to start. But you'll notice that some of these results are sort of more general sites like infoplease.com or questia.com, and a lot of these sites live mostly to serve you ads and don't have very high quality information. Even though they may have links to high quality information, they themselves aren't typically very high quality. How could I improve things? Well, in this case, I'm going to use the top level domain edu, which you may recognize from domains like yukon.edu. This is reserved for four-year colleges and universities here in the US, I believe, if I remember correctly. And site:/edu limits my results to things that are on university websites. Now, you still have to be careful to evaluate the sources that turn up with a search like this. Could be a student's research paper, and maybe not a good one. So check and see who's giving you information when you go to the page. And if you're lucky, though, it may be a professor who specializes in your topic, has some of their research available right there or linked from their page. Maybe even you'll find class notes to give you additional background. So this using just the edu as your site is a great approach. And you can think of lots of other ways you can narrow this down. Another obvious choice would be org or gov for government websites if you're looking for official government information. Or you may want to think about using a country code domain. So .fr is France, and we'll get very different results. Although, as you'll see, Google is still pretty smart about knowing that I'm in the United States and I'm probably speaking English because my browser told it that. So even though I'm in incognito mode, Google knows where I am and what language I want to speak. So I'm really getting English results instead of French here because my French is pretty bad. Okay, so again, within countries, in the UK, for example, co.uk for commercial entities within the United Kingdom, and similarly for some other countries, can narrow things down for you very nicely. So the site is a very powerful tool if you have some idea of where the stuff you want to find is located, what kind of website it's on, or even what specific website it's on. So that's tip number 5, and we'll be back with something equally geeky in tip number 6.